what is permaculture?
Oh, that's a good question. Cool. Yeah, it's a portmanteau pretty much of permanent agriculture, which really, when we talk about agriculture, agriculture being the food systems that underpin a society or civilization, and the food is very much connected to culture. So it has been shortened to permaculture. What are the permanent aspects of culture that continue to transcend through space and time? And, how can we integrate those into our daily lives? It was initially founded by two Aussie guys in the 70s. You can imagine 70s, we've just gotten off the gold standard, inflation's running rife, the climate narrative is beginning, the
To pick up.
globalization, like we're running out of resources, we need to limit our consumption, da 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 da. And these two dudes, Bill Mollison and David Holmgren, we're just experimenting with systems to how to grow their own food and design energy efficient housing and organized community and all of that, right, from the ground up. And
Okay.
so as they were looking to develop this, they extracted a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge out of indigenous cultures all over the world, right? And they were just identifying those patterns. What are those patterns and those aspects of culture that transcend space and time and culture? And what's the commonality?
Cool. And it's obviously a massive topic because it's, how do we survive? It's at the very core of it. And culture is, well, this is one of the fortunate things when, if you're like myself and you've had the fortune of traveling,
Mm.
travel's the best part about travel for me is perspective, and the perspective that you get from seeing how other people live. And you suddenly realize that actually it's not just how your parents tell you the world works. It's like, oh my God, these guys live totally differently, or these guys live differently again. So culture is this hugely broad subject. And we could probably have a 10-part series each digging into
Yeah.
that. But what I'd love to spend some time on is the problem. So, like you mentioned inflation already in the 70s. What were these guys trying to get around? Like, what were the main problems that were the genesis of this movement?
I would say the overconsumption or rapid like there's a big focus on shifting from consumption to production. And I think as Bitcoiners, it becomes quite obvious that, the fiat culture is a consumptive culture. That's literally how it's designed. I don't think these guys fully recognized it was the money, although they were dreaming up different monetary systems in permaculture as well, right? So
Interesting.
it is very interesting, man.
Wow.
The parallels between permaculture and Bitcoin is just phenomenal, and I'm surprised that there's not more overlaps or people with the overlap. And yeah, so they're designing and coming up with monetary systems and food systems and community systems, and yeah, the biggest problems are, and it's become obvious to me in recent years that it's this disconnection from the actual physical reality. And for me, it's so obvious now, knowing Bitcoin, that it's tied to the money. I kind of sensed that it was part of the problem. I didn't realize it was such a big core issue to the
Mm.
problem. I think probably deeper than that is um, the human affliction that allows that to proliferate. That's probably the only deeper problem that we have. But yeah, they're the kind of the problems they were looking at. So rapid consumption, chemicals in food, and destructive food systems, degenerative food systems, slapped together housing with cheap materials, like all of it, man. It's all started since then, and they were quick to see it early in the
Wow.
piece. And Bill Mollison in the 70s, he was already an elder, like he was already an old eccentric lecturer at a university talking about ecosystems and, that kind of network thinking, natural systems thinking. And then David he's a student at the university, and they just like clicked together, got together like a house on fire. And then together they developed this idea of permaculture.
Really cool.
It
And
is.
one of the things that Bitcoin allows us to do is to actually just go deep down a bunch of rabbit holes that weren't, in some ways, previously accessible or even relevant.
Mm.
Why do you need to care where your food comes from? Because you just go to the supermarket. Like, you fucking moron. Why would I like? And even even stuff like washing food. Why would
Yeah,
you
right.
wash it? It's come from the shop.
Right,
There's
yeah.
this sense that like you everything is prepared for you and label is exactly as it should be and everything's totally safe and you're fine. Now, obviously, that's not necessarily the case given the
Mm.
myriad of different health problems that people clearly have.
Yeah.